Welcome to Charles GBT YouTube channel, where coding dreams come true, or at least that's the plan. Join me as I work on real life projects. We will dive into C++, Arduino projects for now, and then some projects on other programming languages along the way. Get ready to code, create, and maybe even crash your project a few times, just like I do. If you are short on time or just want to see the end result, feel free to forward to the end part of the video to see the simulation in action. So make sure you have downloaded your Tinkercad Projects app, your this thing, whether you're working with your computer or you're using real connections and stuff like that, it still goes with the same code. So these the connections we had. I explained everything in the our last video 8 for these connections because we used exactly the same connections for my 8th tutorial. So these just normal connections, resistors wired up with you can use normal wires, you can use this as well. So make your connections, the RGB light, the potentiometer, the buttons, the breadboard, and Arduino 3. So make your connections the same exactly so it will function properly. So if I dive into my code, so I'll give you guys seconds to take a picture of the connection so you can create exactly the same thing and you won't make mistake, and or you can maybe share your screen or do something and make the same connection so it works perfectly. So we are still going for a color mixer, but this time we are adding more functionality to it, so the code will look somehow difficult, and just you can, once I post the code in the comment section, you can read the comments I put on the code for more understanding. So this is my code. Let me zoom it out a little bit. That's fine. I'll push this right here. Okay. Yeah, I'll push this right here. I'll push on everything. Yeah, I'll push this right here. So this is the connection. So this time around I use a constant. This constant is just for making sure that it won't get changed anywhere. You can use it as a normal int, you can use it as just there's another one that is don't worry, if I remember it I'll get back to it. So this is a constant. You can use it to save your connections. We are connected to 9 for red, 10 for green, and 11 for blue. The rotation pin is connected to A0, the analog 0 down right here, this orange connection right here. And the button pin is 2, connected to digital for 2. So you have to declare exactly the same connection to make it work properly, to make it function properly. So these the variables for brightness, green, blue, then the data, and this the button state. When you see button state high, it means that when the button is clicked, so initially set to high because we want to just start running the program even without clicking the button. But you see the functionality I brought, the project idea I brought on this. So you see the color index, so we can start from red and this. So the variable to store the user's color sequence. So this is we called many functions as usual as the other code. So we called many functions, as you can see, called many functions. Then these are our void setup. Once you see this serial dot begin 9600, it means that we are going to be working with the serial monitor. So this is what our void setup, and then this is our void loop to make it loop forever. And this we are calling the functions we created earlier inside our void loop. Without the void loop, the code will result to an error. Okay, let me show you what it means. Like without this void loop, you can't run any of this code. Like for instance, now if I should delete this, let me delete out the void loop, Control Z, and run this program. It gives red. It needs a loop, a void loop. So it needs a loop to make sure the program runs perfectly fine. So I will just put it back. Control. Okay. So now it will work perfectly. So if I should go back to this, so these are our connections. All our functions have different things they are doing. So for the set brightness, we have three parameters for the red, green, and blue. So we set the brightness of each color by writing the values to the RGB. So this is it. So the monitor, what we are going to print in the serial monitor is this, like how we printed in the other video. So we will print this, this, and this. So this is the function, so that we just saved everything in different functions, so it will look organized. So these are just brightness, to adjust the brightness using the, as we are rotating the potentiometer, we read the value. Potentiometer usually starts from 0 to 1023. Yeah, from 0 to 1023. This map is very important to run the potentiometer. The map, the data is this variable that we saved here as analog read rotation pin, because it's connected to an analog 0, if you can see. So it's rotation pin. Some people call it pot pin, but if you say pot pin, you won't really understand it, because like pot pin is like potentiometer, but just short form for the potentiometer, so they call it pot pin. So map, so these are data for this 0 1023 and 0255. So this 255 is the highest value of an RGB. It's once it's 255, let's say RGB, you can see maybe in CSS, which is something like RGB 255, 255, 255. It will bring white, because that's the full combination of the three, red, green, blue. Then if you see RGB 255 just in red, so it will show the full brightness of the red. So these are our brightness, to our log brightness, to read the button state to switch to the next color. So for our buttons, to control our buttons, so we will keep going, and keep going. Okay, so these are if statements. If this works, we do. Okay, I'll explain what this does, like the functionality of our code, why this, like this project, what we are going to achieve using this project. But I'll paste the code in the comment section so you guys can learn more and use my code, or maybe you can figure out another way cooler to do this. So if you've this to validate the new sequence, then so if after the colors finish everything, you input your sequence, it resets the color back to 0, so we can start afresh and breaks out the loop. But if you include an invalid sequence, it gives an output, invalid output, like it gives an error message saying that a sequence is required, like the main sequence, but I gave out instructions somewhere here, I think. Where's that? Enter RGB value. I think it's somewhere here. Yeah, please input the sequence of colors you would like. For example, RGB, GRB, BGR. So this is it. So this is our void setup. We must need this, and we must need the void loop in any Arduino project, any Tinkercad project. So this is it. So what's the functionality of our code? What we need to achieve is once we run the code, like once we run the code, it doesn't do anything till we input the sequence. We work with the serial monitor. So if we should start this simulation right now, you see, so start it. And when you're running this, make sure you're charged up, charge your computer, your system, or anything you're using, because it's wired. Sometimes it hangs up. It hangs up, even on me, because sometimes Tinkercad has problem, and or like I have many projects, so lots of projects, so it slows down my system somehow. Yeah, so I just guess that's it. So start the simulation so you can see how it works, for those of you that skipped. So please input the sequence of color you would like to change in the format RGB. So what this saying is that once we click RGB and send it to the serial monitor, it starts from red, then green, then blue. But if we click GRB, then it starts from green, then red, then blue. Then if we click BGR, it starts from blue, then green, then red. So this is the extra functionality that we need to give, that I gave to my color mixer. Just our last color mixer was just easy and self-explanatory, so it's just normal color mixer, but this, the one I gave extra functionality. Okay, and if you don't like type any of this in the serial monitor, it gives out an error. Like the error message I said, invalid sequence, please enter trail letters. Yeah, this message, why is this showing me to debug? I know I want to get an error, man. Okay, so invalid sequence, please enter trail letters like RGB, RGB. So if I run it, and first of all, I will run a working code first. Then if the user tries putting an invalid thing to do. So we need to always put something for the user in case the user is like dumb. I won't say the user is dumb though. So in case the person just has, don't understand the rules well, or maybe he can't see well, or maybe he made mistakes, so it won't crash the whole project. It will give him like an error on what to do, and it continues. So we'll just go with, firstly I'll go with what's it, I like blue. Let me go with, I like red as well. I just like the three colors, but I'll go with let's just go with normal RGB. Oh no, let me go with BGR. Yeah. So if I click on enter, wait a few seconds because Tinkercad is cool, but it's somehow slow. So BGR, so we clicked on enter, we're waiting. Okay, it's starting. It's starting. Tinkercad is slow, kind of slow. So I think BGR, remember our input. So if I should go, you see it starts from blue. You can, adjust the color of the blue. You can see it's getting more blue, and this blue kind of looks like violet or something. I don't know, it's different from purple, but it's not that blue. Like you can see the resistors is blue, it's well blue. Tinkercad need to work on their blue. So there's so if we go here right here, so I've just off the blue. So if I click the button again, what do we do? I think it's BGR, yeah, right. So if I click the button again, I hope this clicks. Okay, let me check if it's clicked. Oh, it's still on blue. What's wrong with this button? Wait, hold on. So if I click, I think I'll click it very tightly. And now I hope it's on green. So if I move, it goes to green because we did BGR, right? So if I go, yeah, you see green. It shines green. It's also like a color mixer as well. So it shines green. You can use this to adjust the brightness of the green. Use it to adjust the brightness of the green. You can see this, adjust the brightness of the green. We can't compare our first brightness with the last one. It just goes more dimmer or something like that. So let me off the green, and what's this loading again? Okay. So let me off the green. So let's go hit click for red. I hope it goes to red this time around. Okay. So it's still on green. Why is my button just slow today? Let me off the green again. Then click on the button so it goes to red. It's still on green. What's wrong with my button? I think I will just make so I can be aware of when it goes. Click. Okay. Oh, I think it has switched. Yeah. So if I go, it goes to red. You see that? So we did BGR, and that's how the stimulation works. We can also use it to mix color, but we won't mix the color now. Let's just off it. Then let me mix the color later. So if I click the button again, click the button. Oh, what's wrong with this button? Click the button. Sometimes the button used to have issues, and again, because of too much projects, it just slows time. Okay, yeah, it's clicked. So the sequence is complete. Okay, please enter a new sequence. Okay, let's say we enter HYT. HYT is not a part of our RGB or anything, or GBR or anything. HYT. So if I click enter, this way, sometimes it just gets slow. Okay. So you see, it gives message invalid sequence. Please enter three letters like RGB, only RGB to the user. So to make the user know that what we are doing, it's so you have to just make sure the projects don't crash when the user enters an invalid number. So let's just mix our last color. Let me say let's go this time around from green, then red, then blue. GRB. Please, you guys to keep it in mind, remember it. So if I click on enter, you can have fun, play with other colors, check, do the mixer yourself. Just after this, I think it will be the end of the video. Let me just see. Oh, why is this thing slow today? Okay, yeah, it saved it. So it starts with green. It starts with green, but you know that initially our red was still left on. I don't know if you guys noticed, it was still left on. So it mixed the green with the red, so it gave the yellow. It gave a yellow. So if we just let's assume that we mix everything together. So this higher green. So let's assume we mix even the blue. It will give a white because red, green, and blue is white probably. So let's say we mix the blue as well. Okay, no, sorry, we started from red. So let's mix the blue as well. Mix. What's wrong with this button? Let me click on it tight. Okay, cool. So it makes the blue as well. You see, it just turns white because red, green, and blue gives white. Yeah, and dim the lights a little bit. So we are removing a little bit of the blue. So that's why it's giving more green. So if you mix the same amount of green, blue, and red, it gives white. Okay, you see, blue is more superior. It's giving it somehow white, purple, or something. So, but if it's equal, it gives a plain white. Okay. I think blue is now less. So if it's equal, it gives a plain white. And that's a wrap. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more project-based tutorials. And remember, coding is all about having fun and sometimes pulling your hair out. Keep on coding, and remember, practice makes perfect. And for those of you that don't like stress like I do, just click on my CG logo at the bottom right corner of this video to subscribe. And finally, I'm going to give you all a glance into our final project idea, which I'm super excited about. I've spent a ton of time perfecting the code and simulation, and I'm proud of how it's turned out. But here's the thing, I don't want to just share the code and tutorial with random viewers. I want to make sure that only our loyal subscribers get to see the full functionality and explanation of this project. So if you want to learn and see how we brought this project to life, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribers will get exclusive access to the final project tutorials and more of our final project tutorials in other programming languages as well. And I wouldn't want you to miss out on that. Thanks once again for watching, and I will see you in the next video.